Hello everyone, Seraphin here. Welcome back for more Mega Man X4. When I last left you, we scratched off a couple more Mavericks off the list, and we are going to be proceeding onward now to, actually, what we're going to do, we're going to backtrack a little bit and grab another Heart Tank from Web Spider's level, now that I have the ability to obtain it. And my second favorite stage theme in this game, the first being Magma Dragoon, obviously. This is actually a ringtone on my phone, believe it or not, this stage level. For whenever whenever Late Night Mega calls me, actually, this is what I hear, so. I don't know why I picked Web Spider of all things, I just really like it. It's a really cool theme, I just like it. It's very relaxing theme. It's not all hyped up and intense like a lot of the other ones. And it just sounds awesome. The musical composition, I think, is what does not get enough credit in this franchise. Not just in the X games, but in the entirety of Mega Man as a whole. The musical composition has always been just spot on, including the classic Mega Man games. The music has always been fantastic. If anybody has ever played a Mega Man game, you're familiar with the Mega Man 2 Dr. Wily Castle theme. Everyone knows that one. That's arguably one of the most recognizable Mega Man themes. But so good, and this definitely continues the trend. I'm going to confess, I don't know the primary composer at Capcom for the Mega Man series. I'm a little bit ashamed of that. Normally I like to give credit where credit is due to people who are very talented when it comes to that kind of stuff, but for example, Nobuo Uematsu for the Final Fantasy series, or what is it? Man, I'm just drawing a blank right now on some of the other ones. I think it's Yachiru Ramane for Castlevania. There's so many good ones. Mostly Japanese ones, honestly, but there's a lot of good American composers, too. Martin O'Donnell, obviously, for the Halo franchise. Halo has an amazing soundtrack. Even if you don't like Halo, you have to admit the music's fantastic, especially just the main theme. It's so freaking good. But I'm a sucker for good video game music, and Mega Man is high on my list for series that have a very large number of excellent music tracks. And certainly the audio fidelity is much better on the PS1 than it was on the SNES. Although the SNES had a very competent sound chip as well, believe it or not. I'm one of those weird people. I know for a fact that the Sega Genesis was inferior technology-wise to the Super Nintendo. There's no questioning that. But for some reason, when I have the ability to play either the Genesis or the SNES version of a lot of old classic games, I tend to prefer the Genesis, and that's maybe a little bit of my bias creeping in because that's the console that I grew up playing. But at the same time, I just like the not quite as good sounding sound, if that makes any sense. I'm much more of a fan of the more, I'm not going to say tinny because that's the wrong word, but there was a certain feel to the way that the audio sounded in the Genesis as opposed to, by the way, this is what we need here, is to burn this tree trunk with the Ryu gene that we just obtained. There's nothing in that one, but that's just giving you the example of what you can do with it. And I think this is the one that has the Heart Tank in it over here, actually. Just burn that real quick. And then blow up more spiders. Yep, there it is. So we'll grab that Heart Tank, and we'll get out of here. You'll see that there's... I guess I'll show you guys in a second. I didn't really have a good chance to look at it, but... if you remember from my playthrough of Mega Man X, there was an area on the bottom left of the screen for my 4 sub-tanks. And it's a similar situation in this game, but I don't get 4 this time. I only get 2, I think. Where are we going to go next? Let's do Frost Walrus. That sounds like fun. Now, he's ginormous, as you can see here. He's absolutely freaking huge. Kind of reminds me of Flame Mammoth a little bit. Just the way that he's just this giant, bulky beatstick dude. He's not overly threatening, unfortunately. He's actually one of the easier bosses in this game. Now, here's something cool. If you hadn't played X3 yet, you won't know who this is, but in the background here, we see a frozen remnant of Blizzard Buffalo from X3. That is not the only example of that we'll be seeing, of frozen Mavericks from previous games. That is only the first of many, actually. In fact, there's another one right here. I think that's Chill Penguin back there. It looks like Chill Penguin. Don't quote me on that, but... And here's another place to use Ryu Gene right here. Break an ice ceiling above us, and it drops another Heart Tank down on us. So that's 4 out of the 8 now already that we've got, which is nice. You're seeing just how useful the Ryu Gene is, actually. in obtaining everything in this game, it seems like. These weird little snowman thingies. Now, this area's got a lot of spikes in it, and it's slippery, so you gotta be careful. Because if you slip and fall, then you're just gonna fall to your death, and that's never any fun. I believe that is Chill Penguin in that ice block. I don't know why there's more than one instance of him. That means it seems a little weird. You'd think there'd only be one frozen in ice Maverick boss at a time, but what the heck do I know? We gotta dash jump through here pretty quick because that ice crumbles, as you can see. And then here we have this thing here. This is kind of hard to get. I think I need to dash jump. Okay, that guy needs to stop hitting me. That's not very nice. You gotta be careful because when you fall, it counts as a jump and you can't, like, recover properly. Alright, come on. How did I do this before? Oh, you know what I need? No, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe I don't have what I need to get this yet. No, I do. Never mind. We're good. I was thinking of how you get it as X, and I'm like, wait, I don't have the lightning web because I'm playing as 0. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway. So moving on, let's get through this spike-filled icicle hellhole here. Deal with this Yeti robot thing. And fall down this way, I think. Is that the right way to go? Seems a little weird, doesn't it? Yeah, it's gotta be. Nope, that's not the right way. Oh, it is the right way. Alright, we're good. Why did I forget that? That seems weird for a thing to forget that exists. Oh well, whatever. Like I said, I'm a little rusty. This part's annoying. It's not too bad, I guess. You just need to keep falling. If you get trapped, pinched on one of these platforms, it won't kill you, but it'll hurt a lot. So you gotta be careful. And I just need to dash over here. There we go. And then we get a boss door, and then you're like, wait, what's really early for that? That's because there's a sub-boss here, a little mini-boss. That's Chill Penguin right there. Not the floating thing, the frozen in ice thing in the background. That's absolutely Chill Penguin. And we get this guy, who is weird-looking, and just a giant ball of ice in a face. I'm going to Ryu and Gene him, because it's easier. Does just more damage to him. And Fire Saber is probably the coolest thing in this game, let's be honest. There we go, he's already down. No big deal. Then we can progress onward. So this is the only stage in this game that actually has a different level theme between Part 1 and Part 2. And also a very different feel. Before, we were outside in this unforgiving snowy wasteland. Now we're like inside the snow base. So we're actually indoors now. And you gotta be careful breaking these blocks of ice because some of them contain traps. Some of them contain enemies, but if you're careful and plot your route out correctly, some of them contain goodies. And I'll give an example of that as soon as we get to one here. I'm going to blow this guy up. There's a bomb right there. Now, when you blow up those bombs that are concealed in the ice, like those ones right there, you see them floating there, they will destroy the blocks directly above and below them. And I actually want to try to get up on top here. So I don't want to blow up this bomb. Well, not until I get through it anyway. So if I go through here and try to be careful anyway, instead of getting ahead of myself. Would you stop with the little floaty things? Alright, I need to be a little more careful here. Sometimes I forget about this part up here. It's a little easy to forget, I guess. There's something up in the ice up there. You probably just saw it, actually. In fact, it's right there. That is the weapon tank. So, as I was going to explain earlier, you see I've got 3 slots on the bottom of the screen there. There's 2 E's and then what was previously a W, but now I have it. So the 2 E's are sub-tanks, or energy tanks. Same concept as from X1, they are refillable sub-tanks that you can use over and over again. And then the W tank is for weapon energy. That being said, Zero, as I mentioned, does not generally make use of weapon energy. All of his techniques are infinite use, he can use as much as he wants. You'll see there is one thing, though, in my sub-menu, or my sub-weapon bar up there, that does have a bar, and that is his ultimate attack, which we get from one of the Mavericks. You'll also see that down on next to my life total and my number of lives, there is an EX. And that EX is because we picked up that little weird tank a little while ago that I had to dash jump, or double jump rather, to get up on top of. The EX tank, what that does is whenever you die and get a game over and have to start over again, you will start with 4 lives instead of just 2. That's all that does. So honestly, the EX tank is of questionable usage, really, or questionable usefulness. If you die a lot, it's nice. If you don't die at all, it's actually kind of useless, but to each their own, I guess. And we want to actually kill that thing. That little bird dragonfly thing. I'm not really sure what it is. If you don't manage to kill it in time before it goes off, I guess, it will actually flash freeze the level and turn everything into ice. It does flash freeze the enemies, though, too, I believe, but it just makes things a little more annoying to deal with, and I'd rather not let him do it. No, it might not get a chance. Nope, never mind, I got him. So, maybe one of these times I'll show you guys what that does, but I actually don't think we're going to need to come back here. We got the heart tank, we got the EX tank, we got the weapon tank. Yeah, we don't need to come back here. So we can just deal with Frost Walrus and be on our merry way, which we are about to do presently. Deal with Frost Walrus. I do like this warning thing, too. Oh, he's a biggin'. You see, he's like 5 of me. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I'm the size of one of his fists. What's that blonde kid up to? Shut up and fight already. That does it. Alright, well, so much for diplomacy. Let's set him on fire, shall we? Because everyone knows fire beats ice. I mean, ow. Okay, I didn't meant to dash jump, and it just didn't work out that way. I like setting people on fire. Setting people on fire is a lot of fun. There we go. Got it that time. Yes, I am using his weakness. He's tedious to fight if you don't use it. It's not one of those examples where you don't have to. He's perfectly easy without it, but I just don't want to wait that long. I'm a little bit lazier at X4 than I was at X1. That's because I'm a lot more confident in my capabilities in X1 as compared to this game. Not that I don't think I'm capable of beating this one, it's just I'm not as good at X4 as I am at X1. I have a lot more exposure to X1. I've been playing it since I was a tiny child, so... And we'll just finish him off real quick. He's kind of a pushover, actually. And honestly, he's not even that difficult without any upgrade. Like, he probably won't even hit you normally if you just fight him a normal way. But when I go through and beat all the Mavericks again as part of the final area, I'll try to do as many of them as I can without using their weakness weapons so you can see what they're actually like. That way I'll actually have maximum health too, and I can afford to get hit a little bit more. Because I'm not super great at this game. We get Hyoret Suzan, which is another weapon of questionable usefulness. It's okay. So what this does is when you do the special attack and down while jumping, you will like dive downward with your saber out, and it's like covered in ice. And when you land on the ground with it, it breaks apart and hits a bunch of... Yeah, it's okay. It's not super great, but it's okay. And we're going to go ahead and save up real quick. And I'm actually have a lot more stuff on my save slot now. There we go. 4 heart tanks, 4 weapons, and 2 upgrade tanks. So we have half the stuff. We have half of everything. And we're at about... Oh, here we go. So rather than fight another Maverick boss, what you're actually going to see is a neat little cutscene here. Because we've defeated half the Mavericks, there's this little interlude. This interlude will happen with X as well as with Zero. However, it is different for both of them. And I will explain the differences once we get to see what this one actually is. So Iris says we got a message from Colonel, and he's going to wait for us at Memorial Hall, and he wants us to come there. And Iris really does not want us to go fight her brother, but Zero, being the prideful jerk that he is, he's not a jerk, he's actually awesome. So he's like, I have to go, I'm going to go fight him. And here we get another cutscene.
Colonel! What? I'm disappointed in you, Colonel. Ah! What do you think you're doing? It's not too late. Stop the coup now. Never. If that's your decision, prepare yourself!
Such bad voice acting. He said coop, by the way. He didn't say coup. So we see Colonel actually has his own beam saber here.
Stop, please! Brother, please! Don't you remember? Zero saved my life.
Oh. Very well then. I'll spare your life for now. But next time, there'll be no mercy.
Zero, please, don't fight with my brother. If you do, I'm afraid that one of you may end up...
Someone must stop Repla Force.
Zero!
Oh, poor Iris. I actually do like Iris as a character quite a bit. At any rate, so that's all that happens when you play as Zero. That interlude, you just see that cutscene of him fighting Colonel, and nothing really happens. If you are playing as X, however, you actually do fight Colonel. And he's not too hard, but he's a bit of a pain if you don't have the right equipment. But that being said, we're not going to fight him. We just had to watch somebody fight him, or watch Zero fight him at any rate. So that being said, that's it for now. We're going to resume next time with the other half of the Mavericks. So until that time, thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.